On this edition of City Profile, we'll be talking about the 12-year tenure of Mayor Bill Paxton. Please stay with us. Hello and welcome to City Profile. I'm Tom Butler, and today I have to say I have one of my favorite guests for this show, Mayor Bill Paxton. Welcome again, sir.
Thank you, Tom. It's good to be here again.
Well, as we are recording this, we have just come through the election cycle, and you have been mayor for 12 years. You can't be mayor anymore. Mm-hmm. How's that feel?
Well, it's a little bittersweet, but Tom, I'm ready. I think my patience is not what it was when I first came in. I'm a little more cynical than I was when I came in. And I think 12 years is enough, matter of fact. I mentioned to you that might be a good term limit for our federal government. And 12 years is long enough where you can get some things done, but then it's time. And I'm 67 years old and been working for 44 years, and I'm ready to kind of do what I want to do.
That sounds like a good idea. I was looking at the list of things that have gone on in 12 years. I mean, and there's a lot of things that have happened in Paducah during that time. What do you think? Is it even possible to identify what you think was your biggest accomplishment?
Yes, it is. There's two of them, and I'll tell that to you. But first, let me just say this. Tom, I had a constituent come to me early on in my mayorship and said, Mayor, just because something happened on your watch doesn't mean you can take credit for it. And that's true in some cases. And I want to emphasize that these accomplishments were made because of the great city commissioners that we've had over 12 years, the two great city managers that we've had, and our staff, our wonderful department heads. So I by no means today take credit for this. There has to be a leader to bring it all together. There has to be somebody to get the 3 votes from the commission. And that's been my job. But having said that, and this is tough to pick two of what I think has had the most impact on the city and the county and in the community. First off is the Carson Four River Center. The city played a huge role in that, in floating a bond, in building the parking lot, building the new roads around it, and the general support that I gave as mayor to the legislature in order to get the $20 million from the state. And so what that's done as far as the culture for Paducah and McCracken County, as far as business for the restaurants, bringing new people into Paducah to stay at our hotels has been huge. And I think that has to be the number one accomplishment of my tenure. And then number two would be one that just happened, and that's Murray State. I think floating the bonds to bring Murray State to a new campus in Paducah will complement what West Kentucky does, and the engineering school and the technology part of it, and make Paducah a college town, make it an education hub. And so those two, what I think were my biggest accomplishments.
Okay, well then let's talk about some others. Those
Okay.
are big. Those are huge accomplishments. What else are you proud of?
Well, I'm proud, obviously, of the smoking ban. Paducah's been smokeless for 5-6 years. I'm not sure if the state will ever go that route. So I think we took a huge step in making the people of Paducah comfortable in walking into a restaurant or a building. Alcohol sales on Sunday, I think, is for restaurants has been huge because it has allowed restaurants to make more money, more more customers come in, and I think that was huge.
Both of those were fairly controversial issues that the commission and you took on. How did you feel about dealing with the controversy? You know, it's easy to pass things that everybody likes, and rarely does everybody like anything, but those in particular were fairly controversial.
Oh yeah, they were both controversial, and I think my thoughts, Tom, is that as mayor, that if you think, after listening to all the arguments, if you think this is the right way to go, then you need to talk to your commission about it, try to get their support, and implement it. You can't have the majority of everybody love everything that you do. You can't do anything that way. So I think both of those votes were a 3-2, and I'm not sure about that, 3-2 vote. And that's why I say that you've got to have 3 votes to get anything done. And you can't be afraid to pass something on a 3-2 vote, or you won't get anything done. So yeah, those were controversial, but I think today that they were the right thing to do. Lowering the property tax during my tenure from 30 cents per hundred to 25 cents per hundred was the right thing to do for the Paducah citizens. And raising the payroll tax from 1.5% to 2%, I thought was the right thing to do, because a lot of people complain, Tom, that people are paying that don't live in the city, but they work in the city. So consequently, they come in, they use the roads that we have built, they use our police force, our fire department, all of our services, and they need to pay for that. So we did 2 things. We raised the payroll tax from 1.5% to 2%, but we just didn't throw that revenue into the general budget. We formed an investment budget, and that is audited separately every year. It's listed on our webpage for where that money goes, and it basically goes for infrastructure, new neighborhoods, and economic development. And so you can see where that money is spent. You know it's not going in the general budget to be spent on salaries and things like that. It's going for what I think are the 2 most important things we can do as city government, and that is create jobs and to have a good quality of life. And when you have good infrastructure, you're going to have good quality of life.
Can you give me an example of what those monies have been used for?
Well, yeah, we have used those monies for work that's been done on Park Avenue to rebuild that whole subdivision. There's been so far about we have purchased many lots there. We have redone roads. We have built curbs and new sidewalks. Just as you drive through the city and you see that we just did Buckner Lane. Well, that's a combination of state money and local money in order to get that done. So all the paving projects that are done every year, and we have a list, and we try to do so many of those every year. We can't do them all in one year. Is done by state money, which is federal money that flows through the state, and then also our own money. So you have roads. We are going to give incentive dollars. I have a list of the economic development successes that we've had since I've been mayor, and a lot of those. A lot of that money that's gone to those people to lure them to our community, incentive dollars, have come from that pot. We put aside $300,000 a year for economic development incentives. So anything that has to do with quality of life or new jobs, or making one of our big responses in our what we have supported is to having more home ownership and less rental property. When somebody owns a home in your city, they've got more buy-in, and so consequently, that's why we did Lower Town. That's why we did Park Avenue, and we will go from inner city neighborhood to inner city neighborhood and build those neighborhoods up to get people to move. New people move into our community, but people moving maybe that want to downsize from larger properties and come into the city where they're closer to things.
So I know that throughout your tenure, I mean, probably the first time I interviewed you, you started talking about economic development and quality of life. Those have been two of your major focuses.
Right.
And so you feel you've been fairly successful in those areas?
Tom, when I first came into being mayor, I never imagined how difficult economic development was going to be. I'd been a banker, I'd been a salesman all my life. I thought I could go and play my role in bringing people to Paducah. But you can start out one of 30 communities trying to get a company, and you get that down to maybe your second or third, but you still don't get it. You've worked hard, you made a good impression, but you still don't get it. So you don't get anything for that. You don't get a blue ribbon. You
no
don't get
second place, right?
No pat on the back. It's just, why in the world aren't we? So it is difficult, and we have had some successes. I have to kind of go by my list here because there are quite a few. You know, Tom, you've got things like that are brand new businesses that were somewhere else, and you've got other businesses that are going to expand, but they might not expand in your community. They might go somewhere else to expand, somewhere where they can get a better building, get a better workforce. So we've had these things taken out to where they're either new or they're expansions. And so I'll just mention a few. Infinity Media is new. Millworks Product is a Paducah that expanded here in Paducah. Pepco is Paducah-based, it expanded. Ulrich Medical Systems expanded. Coca-Cola. We could have very well lost Coca-Cola to Hopkinsville, and we were able to keep that. Pepsi, relocation and expansion. Marquette, we're going into the river industry now, and of course the river industry has been huge for Paducah.
Right.
Crowns Corporation relocated. Hunter Marine is brand new from Nashville. The Credit Bureau system is an expansion. Ingram Barge is an expansion. Thoroughbred Research is a call center, that's new. AEP Operation Headquarters is new, that's in the Information Age Park. And P&L Railroad, a long-time Paducah company, has moved from Kentucky Avenue to a brand new building in downtown Paducah. So that's an expansion. And then there's a new company that just opened at the enrichment uranium plant that's going to help with the cleanup out there. That's going to employ around 200 to 250 people. So we have had some success. I would say that we've hit some singles and maybe a double or two, but we haven't hit that triple or we haven't hit that home run. And then just in the last few days, we had the announcement of Teltec, right, which is going to bring 450 people into Paducah. It's a call center. They're going to take 150 people and put them in our resource center downtown, where the chamber was, and the chamber's moving to the freight building across the street. Then 300 are going to be at a brand new building out at the Information Age Park. Obviously, all the papers haven't been signed. Anything can happen, but right now we think those are 450 people that are going to be having a job opportunity here in Paducah. We think that is a home run. I'd call that a home run, triple to a home run. So I think we have the right person in Chad Chancellor as our director. I think we have a great board. We have Tony Reck, chairman of P&L Railroad, who's our chairman. We have Kenny Hunt, president of his company, his construction company, H&K Construction. And I think we've got the right people with a good board that will have some good successes down the road.
All right, so economic development has been, we'll give it a check on the success side. Of course, I'm sure you would say, like you did, we could have done, I wish we had done better, but it's a tight, competitive ball game out there, and just do the best you can.
Yeah, I would say we've been over 12 years. To be fair on this, maybe a B. I'd like to say more, but we've worked hard. We have. It's not because of lack of trying. It's just because there are 3,800 communities out there, Tom, that are trying to do the same thing we're trying to do, from California to New York City. And there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of states that are right-to-work states, which don't require their people to join a union. A lot of people, a lot of companies will not even look at Kentucky because of that right to work. They're going to locate in a right to work state. So some of it is maybe the state's problem, but we have worked hard at it, and hopefully as we move forward, we've got this momentum going that the next 4 years we might rank ourselves with an A, I hope.
That'd be good for everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
The second thing that you have talked about in almost all of our programs is quality of life. And you know, I was at the recent, it was billed as a groundbreaking, but it was really a ground building ceremony for the Riverfront project. That's one of the latest accomplishments as far as quality of life, is to build that area up. What do you see in your tenure has been successes in that area?
Well, as I've talked about on our show that we've done for many, many years, Quality of Life Matters in Paducah. As you know, quality of life is different things. It's good streets. It's a good police department, good fire department, and it's good parks. So it's many, many things that make up a good quality of life for a community. We completed the new Pecan Butler, which gave us great access into the mall. We're getting ready to start on Olivet Church Road, which will take us from Highway 60 to Carroll Road through the mall with a new 5-lane road. The Coleman Road turn lane, if you never were on Coleman Road and tried to turn, you don't know, but it backed up significantly there. Then you have things like the Greenway Trail that will very soon go from County Line Road all the way to the Convention Center. And you will have, we had the playground and water park that we constructed, skateboard park, a disc golf course, Noble Park restrooms, and bikes on Broadway. So there are a lot of things, Tom, that go into that quality of life. Everything from having, I think an art school located in Lower Town could either be a quality of life issue or it could be an economic development issue. But the downtown after dinner, the evolution of that on summer nights. In the quilt show, we did, we're working on a new hotel for the convention center. We're very close on that. We had to tear down the Executive Inn, and we had to buy a pavilion to give the quilters added space. Well, there's been some criticism in that, but then we also, before we did that, we signed a new 5-year contract with AQS to keep that quilt show in Paducah. I, for one, think that the quilt show is good for Paducah. It's a quality of life and an economic development. With 30,000 people coming into your town, staying almost a week, the money they spend, you can hardly go anywhere and tell somebody across the country you're from Paducah, Kentucky, without them saying, "Oh, you're Quilt City, USA," and that means a lot. So, so we have to spend money in order to keep the quality of life that we have.
I don't know how we kept the quilt show. I mean, that had to be a huge endeavor, especially once the problems with the executive ends surfaced.
Yeah.
To keep them here,
Yeah.
and so that was
it was a year-to-year effort, and so we said, all right, we'll build this pavilion, buy the pavilion, and but you're going to have to sign a 5-year contract before we do that. Now we're going to have, Tom, that we hope to announce really before I go out of office, a new hotel. And that hotel will be inside the flood wall, and we'll have a walking space across the flood wall to the convention center. And so that's going to be built where the pavilion is now. And so we'll sell that pavilion because there is some work and some additional space that can be improved inside the convention center that has not been improved before, that we can improve to make up for the space with the pavilion. So I think not only are we going to be able to keep the quilt show from now on, but we're going to be able to attract a lot of other conventions, and guess what that's going to do? That's going to bring people downtown to shop, to eat at the restaurants. It's going to bring people to Lower Town to shop with the artist. It's going to bring people to go to our Carson Center. So we think that hotel is going to be a wonderful thing for downtown Paducah.
So we've had a lot of success in your two main areas, economic development and quality of life. But after 12 years, certainly there's been some regrets or some things that you wish you could have done. Got any that come out in your mind very quickly?
Well, one of them I mentioned was I wish I'd recognized how difficult economic development was going to be earlier on, so I could have maybe gone in a different direction with the city. So that's one disappointment. Another disappointment is when Governor Fletcher was governor, he asked for my support in trying to get right to work passed for the state of Kentucky. And the commission supported that we would send a resolution to Governor Fletcher and the legislature saying that Paducah, Kentucky supports right to work. That was a 3-2 vote, by the way. And the governor was unable to get that passed. And of course the unions here were very upset, and they were upset at me. And probably that was a mistake, because even though I thought that right to work is a right way to go for the state of Kentucky, I really should have realized that the chances of that being passed were pretty slim. So why go out on the line and do it? So that was a big disappointment. But overall, Tom, even though I've made some decisions that weren't very popular, I think I can go out. To me, it was the right thing to do. And I never have liked the designation of being called a politician. I think I'm the public servant of Paducah. And I think my job was to do what I thought. They elected me to do what I thought was best for Paducah. And I think I can look myself in the mirror in the mornings and say that that just about every decision I made, I would make again if I had it to do over again. And I didn't put my finger up in the air to see which way the wind was blowing. That's not a popular way to govern, but I had lots of friends when I came into office, and I think I'm gonna have lots of friends when I go out of office, and so I think I did it the right way.
We have about 3 minutes left. What advice would you give to the brand new mayor and 2 new commissioners coming in January?
Tom, as you and I talked, I think this is great. I've given it my whole, but it's time for me to move on. It's time for new people to come in. You've got 2 commissioners that have been there before, in Carol Galt and Richard Abraham. You've got 2 new ones in Sandra Wilson and Alan Rhodes. Both of them are going to do a great job. And you have Gail Kaler, who's our new mayor, that has been mayor pro tem for 4 years, city commissioner for 6 years, is very aware of the problems and opportunities that the city has, and I think will do a great job. So I encourage them. I think there was a referendum this election, because of those people that were elected, was a referendum that Paducah is on the right track. So I would say to stay on the right track, concentrate on economic development and quality of life issues, and look to help the whole community. Don't pick a constituency over here and try to help them, but always make a decision based on what's good for the whole community. It's easier to do in city government, Tom, and I'll tell you why. Because you don't have an R or a D out beside your name. You're just public servants, and nobody cares whether you're conservative or a liberal. It's a Paducah opportunity, and how are you going to address that? So if they will continue on that, I think Paducah will be in good hands, and financially we're in good shape with a AA- rating, which is only 2 positions behind the federal government. So we're strong financially, we're strong from a managerial position with Jeff Peterson, and we've got this great city commission.
About 30 seconds left. Can I ever expect to see the name Bill Paxton on another ballot?
No, sir. My political days are over.
You're saying that definitively. I've got
No,
a scoop here. You're not going to run for any other office.
No, sir. I'm through. I'm going to volunteer to the city however I can, because I love this city, but no more public office.
Well, thank you for 12 years of service to Paducah.
Thank you, Tom.
It's been a pleasure, and
Thank
I've
you.
always enjoyed having you on my program here.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. This has been City Profile with Mayor Bill Paxton. I'm Tom Butler. Join us again next time.